Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we're going to be doing a Sims 4 speed build, and for this one we're going to be renovating the 2B Jasmine Suites apartment. So I did already go in and bulldoze it. I think I'd done a CC build in this apartment recently. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or not, but I went in and bulldozed it, which did happen to delete all the windows as well. So I was putting them back in and I couldn't remember how they were originally for this apartment, but I wanted to keep with the same style of the outdoor windows. I do think it's amazing that we can now move, like delete and add our own windows in the apartments. However, I find it difficult because I still like the apartment block to match the rest of the apartment block, so I don't end up liking too often going in with different windows. So I kept with windows that matched, but I do end up moving them around so they suit the floor plan that I went with. I originally see a similar floor plan to this one on Pinterest, but I ended up changing it a little bit because I wanted my kitchen and living space to be in one. So that's exactly what we're doing now actually. But before we jump into talking too much about the build, I wanted this to have a really neutral, calming vibe. So as you can see, we've got lots of wood tones, and then I've gone for a complete beige creamy color interior on all the walls. I do end up adding in some stone in the bathroom, and I have to say the bathroom was my favorite room in this build, which is very strange as I never normally enjoy doing bathrooms or like how they turn out. I feel as though I just rush them and feel like, yeah, that's done, it's there. But the kitchen, I did really like. It is only a small kitchen because, like I said, I wanted this kitchen, living and dining space to all be one, because I wanted to have this little separate study slash hobby space just off to the left hand side, as you can see, and I wanted it to have those big double doors, which obviously took up a lot of wall space, so it did end up leaving us with only a small living and dining space. But I felt as though it worked for the apartment, and I did only really imagine one single sim living here, but you definitely could fit in a couple. There's plenty of things, like there's a double bed and there's plenty of sofa space and dining space and things like that, so you definitely could fit in a couple. But I don't know why, I just envisioned this more as a single sim just living her single girl life in the city, and she's got her apartment looking exactly how she wants it. It's very minimalist, but I did go in and add some candles here and there and some plants, but I didn't go in and over clutter it or anything like that because I wanted it to have that very calming aesthetic. So we're finishing up the living space now. As you can see, we've got a decent sized kitchen. I did in the video forget to add in the smoke alarm, but I did add that off camera. So I didn't mean to say a decent sized kitchen there. I meant to say it's a decent sized living space overall if you did only have one sim living here, because the kitchen isn't very decent sized compared to what I normally build. But I really liked how it turned out, and you have got the necessities. I did manage to also add in a coffee machine because I do like to add either those or a kettle in, because I feel as though they're a necessity. We definitely need a cup of coffee. And then I liked adding in this light coming over the sofa. I just thought it looked really cozy, and I imagined she enjoys lots of reading, so I added in this little reading nook over in the corner, and I really liked the boho look that chair and stool give off when they're placed together. And I just left I didn't size it down, sorry, I moved the placed the books, but I kind of merged it into the stall so it looks as though it's just one book out of the stack of two, because I liked how that looked. I imagine that that's her current read and she's just left it there for when she comes back in. I wanted this, although I wanted it to feel very calming, I did want there to be enough light in this apartment, so I did add the same drop down ceiling lights in all of the rooms, but in a lot of the rooms I did also come in and add a lamp. As you see there on the kitchen cabinets, I added some underneath cabinet lighting, which I think looked really nice as well. And then we're kind of moving on into this little study hobby space. So I popped down two of these cabinets from Dream Home decorator. I imagine, like I said, she's really into reading. That's a big hobby of hers, and maybe art as well. So I did pop down the artist easel as well. Personally, when I'm playing gameplay, I always find having the artist easel there a great way to make some sideline money as well. I'm sure there's lots of other ways that you can probably make more money in The Sims now, but I always like that down there. I think it's just a really easy way. So I placed that down in a moment, but otherwise I thought this was a great little study space or a little reading nook area. You could add in some other hobbies or activities if you wanted to, depending on the gameplay that you're playing with. But I didn't end up placing a window down in this room because I kind of just imagined it's got a really cozy private vibe to it, and it didn't necessarily need one. Now there are effectively two hallway spaces in this apartment. So we come in through the front door, and then I wanted it to be quite open and have the large archways going into the kitchen, and then effectively a second hallway. And that was just because I adjusted the floor plan that I had seen on Pinterest a little bit. So it kind of give it a really nice spacious feel, because a lot of the time when I build in this apartment, I'll end up putting in 2 bedrooms, and then I do feel it very quickly can feel quite cramped. But this one, because I was only doing the 1 bedroom, although we do have that study space, I don't know, it just didn't feel as cramped as what it normally does when I build here. So there was even space for like that additional hallway space, so it gives it a very spacious, airy feel. And I kind of feel as though when it's not cramped up, it makes it feel a little bit more luxurious as well. I didn't go overboard with filling out the space either, because like I said, I wanted it to have a touch of a luxury feel to it. I wanted to feel as though, you know, maybe she's moved up from living in a small apartment into something that's a little bit more spacious, so she can just fit all her stuff in without it feeling cramped up. I made this little dressing table. I often do this because I do wish we had more mirrors that went onto a desk or dressing table, so I always end up merging one of the wall mirrors into, it works really well with this particular dressing table, and just making a little get ready space for decoration purposes really. And then we're going to move on to the bathroom, which I really enjoyed doing. So because it was quite a large bathroom, it meant I could play around and create something that looked like a nice little sanctuary. So I also imagined that she does really like her plants, so I sectioned off this part of the bathroom and added in the spandrel and the 2 glass windows, so that it kind of just gives off this enclosed space. And then I popped the big planter down there, and I just thought this looked beautiful. I would love to chill in here and have a bath, and if I was into reading, which I haven't actually got to do as much as I normally like to, this would be the perfect bathroom to sit and read a book in. And I just liked how it was slightly separated off from the rest of the bathroom. Now this is, like I said, quite a decent sized bathroom for one sim, so I went a bit overboard with the amount of counters that are in here. Like there's pretty much a similar amount of counters in this bathroom to what there is in the kitchen, but I just really liked how it turned out. So I went in and added the big large curtains. I use these curtains a lot. I think they have to be my favorite. And then I did pop down some clutter in here as well, as I kind of pictured her someone who does like to spend a bit of time on her appearance and getting ready, so I made sure there was a little bit of clutter to represent that without going overboard. But then I'm pretty much just going through now and doing a few finishing touches. I remembered going through the build that I hadn't added in any light switches or radiators, which is something I do like doing. So I come in and added the light switches in for all of the rooms, and then come in and done the same with radiators. And it was a little tricky in here because I'd filled a lot of the living space, so I kind of just popped them down where I could. It was a good way to make a bit of use for this second hallway as well. I end up moving this radiator over to the empty wall and placing a picture above it, and it just kind of filled the space. I didn't want to pop anything else in there though. But then this was the finished result. I really felt as though this was a lovely, calming, neutral space to live in. You definitely could come in and add some splashes of colour if you wanted to by swapping out things easily. As you can see, I use lots of the Dream Home Decorator pack, which I felt worked really well for the vibe that I wanted. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this one. It is available to download on the Sims 4 gallery, so I will leave all the information for that in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below letting me know what you would like to see me build next, and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.